All right, so I have something here. This is a very unexpected box. When I started this channel, one of the things that I laughed about was the fact that I was covering all these old cameras, and I was like, who's gonna be interested in old cameras? Turns out a handful of you, and thank you for that. The other thing that made me laugh was like, I didn't start this channel to do any kind of serious reviews. I just wanted to talk through user experience, and I'll never be A, capable, nor B, interested in doing like Gerald Undone style videos, which are so incredible and very technical and in-depth. So I was like, I never anticipated a brand calling me to ask me to review a camera, but that happened. I've always been interested in this. Obviously, like, brands send creators boxes of gear all the time to review with no request to review it. But of course, we know how the game is played, right? Like, they send it to you and they hope that you're going to say something favorable. So I got this box and I just thought it would be interesting to show you how this all works because I had no idea. So this is the box of gear, and in it is the Sigma FPL. They sent me 3 lenses, the 20 millimeter, the 35 millimeter, the 65 millimeter, as well as the battery charger. And of course, you know me, I asked for the EVF and the grip because I must have these things. Now this is a very modern camera. I think it's really interesting because I've already boxed it up to ship back because it's time for me to get it back. But like, the whole thing is built around this very modular style. It has this cool pouch with the really crazy EVF. It is very, very wild and unlike anything I have seen before outside of maybe like Ricoh GXRs, or I had showed you in one of my videos, this very old Olympus that was a modular build. This idea of a modular camera, I think, is really unique and really interesting. However, it has what I would consider to be some issues. I don't have a lot of photos to show because I did not shoot this a lot. And I asked myself after a whole month of having this camera why I had not picked it up more. And the things that stuck out to me were like, I think it's really interesting, really cool. Obviously, it does a lot of cinema stuff that I didn't get into because as far as motion video, like, what I like to do is just have something that's as automatic as possible. I don't want to think too much about it. I like to focus on the photography side. I actually do like motion work as my like day-to-day career, and I kind of separate work and life in that regard. But as a stills camera, what I can say is it's very interesting. The sensor is ridiculous. It's like 60 megapixels or something. It's very large. There's a lot of detail in the files. On paper, it's a very impressive camera. In user experience, despite how innovative this design is, it is definitely like, and it's not a first gen, but it still feels like a first gen. There's a lot of delay in the EVF, which makes it a little distracting. Like, I black out and then I'm like, what's happening in front of me? And it just doesn't have a fluid feel to the experience yet. So I'm just not going to cover it because it wasn't the camera for me. All of that being said, what I do want to talk about is how freaking much I love Sigma. Because who even dares to do something like this, honestly? I mean, it's the same with the Sigma SD Quattros and the DPs and the DP Merrills and the DP Quattros. Like, all of these cameras are wild. And I think the fact that they would reach out to someone like me who has a nominal following and B, shoots old vintage cameras is kind of a huge statement and actually represents exactly what I admire about this company and what I wish other companies would do, like the Canons, like the Nikons. I get it, there's probably no margin in it, but just to be a little bit groundbreaking and innovative and out of the box is something I find highly commendable. They're going a different direction with this line of camera. It's definitely hybrid focused. It's definitely like just a totally different experience. And again, one that's probably just not built for my use case as a stills photographer. But I do really appreciate how freaking wild and conceptual the work is. So not my camera, but definitely my company. And I will continue to buy Sigmas. The Sigma SD Quattro H, the DP1, the DP2 Merrill, and now what I just got was the DP1 Quattro are all cameras that I long to shoot. Like, it is an experience-based camera with just a totally ridiculous output for my taste. I know it's not everyone's taste, but when I see an image from a DP or a Foveon sensor, I should say, I can identify it almost immediately. Like, there's another amazing photographer who I've interacted with quite a bit on YouTube or on Instagram, and he shoots a lot of the same cameras as me. And he recently went on a trip with his family and he posted a photo and I was like, oh, that is 100% the SDQ. And he was like, yep, that's it. That was the Sigma Quattro H. And so like there's a visual signature to it that is just absolutely unique. So this was like a really long walk to water, but my point is, I think all companies should be a Sigma. Like, Sigma should be a verb, and it just means being a little bit brave. Like, as a company, being brave enough to reach out to people with no following and send them your kit and be willing to be said, I don't like it. I think that's actually another point. Gerald Undone reviewed this camera, and he said at the front of his video that it was going to be a pretty scathing review and that he reached out to Sigma and gave them the opportunity to say, don't publish it. And they said, go ahead. That is the company that Sigma is. And so I just hope they keep making these sort of unique experiences, unique sensors, and unique cameras. And that's all I have to say about it. Thanks for watching the video. This was definitely a bit of a different one. And I have some sort of other different ideas in my head for ways that I could sort of make videos on this channel, maybe something a little bit more in the field. I did shoot some stuff when I went on that trip to Mendocino. I have a few other trips coming up. I never really made an edit of the trip, and I tend to enjoy those from other channels, but I've never really bothered to make one for my own. So maybe I'll document a little bit of stuff coming up. I'm taking a trip to the Great Lakes. I'm going to Mexico. I'm going to Oregon, Northern Oregon. So I have a few fun things coming up. Yeah, maybe I'll capture them. Maybe I won't. We'll see. This channel does not have a lot of planning behind it, nor did this video, as you can tell. But, you know, we keep it real here. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.